if you want to learn how to make a purifying, cleansing black salt body scrub, stay tuned. Hello everybody, today we are going to make a purifying and cleansing black salt body scrub. I decided to go ahead and make this video because I am out of mine and I use it pretty frequently. Okay, so we have all of our ingredients here and the container that I'm going to be putting everything into. So the first thing that I do when I'm getting ready to make this is I go ahead and I light my Palo Santo. That's what I'm using today. Sometimes I use just regular stick incense, but today I'm feeling like I want to use Palo Santo. Other times I will also use like thyme and rosemary together to cleanse the space and my containers. So I just stick this in here and I go around to make sure it is nice and smoke cleansed. I also wash this with salt water. This is the container that I use all the time for my black salt. But each time I make a new batch, I always cleanse the container physically and also energetically. So what we start with is obviously salt. And today I am going to use this Himalayan pink salt. Salt has long been used for protection and purification, which is why this is the base for my scrub, because I need to be purified and I also need to be protected when I am doing my live tarot readings. And the pink salt also gives me this, also adds a little bit of healing and self-love in there, and I thought that would be a nice addition to my scrub. So we're gonna put that in there. Since I use this frequently, you know, I go through about this much a month. So I know it looks kind of full. It is full. It's not kind of full. So the next thing that I am going to add is coffee. Now, coffee, and just a little bit of it. So coffee also removes energy blockages and it boosts the energy, and it can also assist with grounding, which is also very important when I'm doing these live readings. So we're going to put some of that in here. The next item that I'm going to add is some activated charcoal. I hope you can see that. Maybe I have my light too bright here. Need to fix my lighting, I apologize. So activated charcoal. Now this comes in a capsule form, and I'm only going to use one capsule because this stuff gets everywhere. And sometimes these capsules can be a little difficult to open. So, and the activated charcoal I use because it is an extremely powerful absorber of negative energy. So we want to keep that negative energy far, 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 far away. Put that back over here. The next thing that I'm going to put in here, now you don't need to use the actual herbs. Some people don't like plant matter in their scrubs and whatnot. I don't mind a little bit. So we're going to add, you could use the essential oil as a substitution if you wanted. So we're going to add a tiny bit of rosemary. Rosemary is very good for purification and protection. I have a special affinity for rosemary. I have a rosemary plant. I love it. I love rosemary. I use it in almost everything. And rosemary can also be substituted for any other herb that you do not have. Kind of like a quartz crystal. You just need to tell it what you want it to do, and it will do it. So mix that up a little bit. And I also want to state at this point too that before I got started, I prayed over all of my herbs that I'm using today. Told them what I wanted, what properties I wanted from them to activate to go into this scrub. So the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of rose. The label's not important. Just a little bit of rose. The bud I'm going to put back. So not much. And rose helps heighten your intuition, boost your intuition, and it's also good for protection. And I'm also adding a little bit of self-love into the mix to complement the pink salt that I used. The next thing that we're going to add is basil leaves. And this particular basil I picked up at the dollar store, and I have a video on my dollar store haul, so you want to check that out. I will put that somewhere here or here so you guys can check that out. And basil, again, is to ward off, I'm asking it to ward off negative energies. And not that much. So once I've added my dry ingredients, it's time for me to add my essential oils. And I add these essential oils because I want it to smell good, right? We're going to start with some rose essential oil. And I'm going to add 9 drops of this. And this is also to complement and heighten the rose that I have already put into the scrub. The next thing that I'm going to add is lemongrass essential oil. This is to clear out any blockages that I might have. And I'm going to add 3 drops of this. It comes up pretty quick. And the final essential oil that I'm going to add is hyssop. I have found myself really drawn to hyssop. It is it's a holy herb, is how I view it. It is very good in purification, consecrating, and blessing. And that is the properties that I'm using in it today, is for the blessing. And I'm going to add 6 drops of this. And this comes out very fast as well. Now that we have everything in our container, all the dry ingredients and the essential oils, I'm going to mix it all up. I want to get it nice and mixed up before I add the oil that we're going to use today. So now that we have it all mixed up, it's time to add the oil. And today I'm using fractionated coconut oil. Some of the properties of coconut oil are, again, for protection and purification. There's not a lot written about the metaphysical properties of coconut oil per se, so I'm still doing a little bit more research on that. And I am not going to add, I'm just going to add a little bit at a time. So the last batch I made was a little bit too soupy. And you don't want it super soupy. You kind of want it the texture of wet sand. I'm going to say that's how you want it. You want it to stick together so it'll scrub you up really good. You don't want it too runny because then it loses its exfoliating properties. I want this really nice and mixed up. And as you can see, this isn't really black. It's kind of a gray. I know on camera it probably looks pretty black. With the activated charcoal, I will say you really don't want to use any more than 1 capsule of that. And I would use the food grade activated charcoal, the ones that you can actually ingest. I would not suggest grinding up like a little charcoal briquette or those little charcoal things that you get that you can burn your resins and stuff on for incense. I would not don't use that. If you can't really ingest it, I wouldn't suggest putting it on your body. And I'm also trying to stir this counterclockwise is the direction that I'm trying to stir this. And that is for removal. Clockwise is to bring things to you. I do not want to bring things to you. This is to keep things away and out, like the negative energies, any like malevolent spirit that might get interested when I am doing my readings. We want them all to stay away, because I want my readings to be good and come from my guides for the higher good of not only myself but those that I'm reading the cards for. So we've made a huge mess, and this is why I put some parchment paper down on my table to protect it. So this is what we have, folks. We are done, and it smells pretty darn good too. So I have already explained why I make this. 1, 2, also how I use it, like in what instances I will use this scrub. I use it, as I had stated before, as part of my ritual before I do my live tarot readings. Excuse me as I close things up and I wipe my hands off. As part of my ritual as I get ready to do my live readings, which happen both on Twitch and YouTube. I'll put links below. I have a Facebook group, which is where I post my lives as events. So look in the description below, and that will give you all the information that you need if you want to participate in my live readings. And in giving the live readings, I want my energy to be as clean as possible. I also want to be as protected as possible, because other people unknowingly and maybe even knowingly can like transfer their energy to you, or they can take your energy from you. So this is to protect me from that. There's other things that I do to help with that type of protection. So that's why I make this salt. This is the first time I've actually made it with pink salt, so I'm very excited to see how it works out. And I also want to note that the charcoal, you do not want to use more than 1 capsule, because it gets everywhere. And this, you need to clean your tub quickly, not like super quickly, but fairly soon after you use this, because it can stain it. Some other uses for this salt scrub, if you decide to make it, is if you're just feeling like blah, like heavy, like if there's some heavy energy around you and you need that gone, this great time to go give yourself a shower or a bath. Use this scrub. Think about everything just washing away, going down the drain. That's one way to use it. You can use it. It's really excellent to use before any kind of ceremony or ritual that you may be performing. And you know, there's so many uses, and I wouldn't use it more than 3 times a week, just because depending on the sensitivity of your skin. I use it once a week, and that seems plenty for me. And I got this idea. I was part of this group, and one of the leaders of this group had a black salt scrub that she gave us the recipe for. So this is my own. I have added things, I have removed things from her original recipe, and I have made this my own. So you can also like take the base of what I have given you here and, you know, add your own essential oils, add your own herbs, add your own intentions when you make this. And that's all I have for you today. So have a great day and keep on witching.